The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
No, I swear to God, ever since I stopped putting it up there, like, it hasn't looked the same.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Are you, like, good?
I don't know. Hey, guys.
Hey, what an awkward place to come into. I'm sorry, I'm on some really weird shit today, so you're going to have to forgive me.
You did that yesterday, or on the previous episode,
Maybe
too.
I'm just going crazy.
It's the coffee. It's the coffee, and you had sugar. You are the size of a child.
I'm, like, a literal child.
Speaking of sugar and children, today at work, we had a holiday video that we were filming with children that were not children actors. So there was, I think, 7 or 8 kids who were literally like running around like crazy, and trying to get them to like sit still on camera is impossible.
You can't yell at them.
Impossible. All the parents were there. They were like helpful, but oh my God, wrangling these kids up, and they're just like, the one girl had antlers on her head, and we had them up on like a little platform, and they couldn't get down by themselves, so I was helping each of them down. So I'm helping this one girl down. She puts her hands up, so I grab her, and I'm like looking down, because there's like wires and cords and tripod stands and light stands and stuff, right? So like my job is like making sure that no kid is like do you know what I mean,
with the wires.
So I don't want kids to trip on them either,
right? So
I'm helping her down, and instead of like hopping down, she like full on like jumps up, and her antlers that are on like a headband on her head jab into my eyes, and like the top of her head, like the top of her head like bashes my nose.
No, that's so awkward.
And everybody else was like, "Oh," I was like, I'm fine. It's fine. And she was cute. She was like, "Oh, sorry," and then started playing rock paper scissors like right in the middle of the floor where I needed to be.
I just love that. Kids are say the darndest things.
Oh my God, kids! They were cute.
They're
were
pure.
good.
They don't know what the fuck's going on.
But oh my God, I needed a drink after that. Is that how I'm gonna be with my kids? Absolutely. If you're listening to this, future children,
I feel like I'm not going to be a disciplinarian. I'm like, okay.
You're not going to be a vegetarian?
My mom swears to my cat growls, but I like refuse to think that that's true.
Your cat growled once.
I had Trish, remember?
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. See? That's the parent I'm going to be.
Oh my God. Wait, Sarah, you guys, we have a very special guest with us. She's a Moodle. And she was in a fashion show.
Oh my God, I sure was. Me and my mom were in a fashion show. Yeah, that was interesting. I was really hungover and I couldn't give any type of emotion.
Oh my God, what did you have to do? Take us there. What were you wearing? Tell us. Wait, hang on. Can we do like an interview?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me set the scene. We're actually at like a step and repeat, and I'm trying to.
What's the step and repeat?
It's like the red carpet where they have the background. It'll
got
say
it.
All
right.
Okay, so like this.
I hope I look like this on this red carpet right now.
Yeah, you are. Okay,
Ew,
so I'm trying to
disgusting.
I'm trying to get your attention, and your publicist is kind of trying to push you forward, but you're just like, no, this looks promising. Okay, so ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I have to get in character. Miss Sarah. Miss Simon, excuse me. Hi.
Yeah. Hey.
Do you have time for a question?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Hey, can you tell me, who are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing a shirt by Nola. That's
no, not what you're wearing right now. I want to know what you were wearing on the runway.
Oh fuck! Right. This is not.
God. Also, what she is wearing right now is a children's shirt I got her from New Orleans. It is a children's medium, and it's a little large on her.
I got Jonathan some ornaments for his tree.
Very cute. Tell us what the fuck you were wearing.
I'm wearing this knit sweater. It is originally some Irish knits and this purse that was handcrafted by its own fabrics.
What does Joanne Fabrics?
Its own fabrics.
Oh, is that a company?
No.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's what she said. I'm telling you, this is brutal. I had to stand there while she like.
You're yelling.
I'm sorry. I had to stand there while she was like explaining like all these things. And
did you have to say what you were wearing?
No, she did, and I had to stand there, and I didn't know. Like I thought I was just like walking, and then I'd be done. But
oh, okay. So you walked. You walked?
And then stood there while she like explained what I was wearing.
Did you give us that 100-watt smile?
I tried my best. It was like
While hungover as shit.
It looked like I was hurting.
Do you have pictures from it? I really want to see pictures.
My brother, I told my brother to take a video and he Snapchats me a video.
Boys, when a girl is with one.
Like, what even?
Honestly, no offense, listeners, but sometimes straight boys, what's
they don't get
on?
it. They don't get what's up.
A lot of the times they do. Barack Obama, we're talking about you, boy.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
hey, come be the president again, please. Save our ship.
Oh, God. Speaking of straight boys, I went to... Speaking of straight, I'm sipping a brew with the boys here.
I am a boy.
I went to the Eagles game and...
Yeah, like that was weird for me to see you at a game.
Why?
Because I feel like you wouldn't be into that.
Well, I was into the drinking part.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So Risa got my cousin's girlfriend got him tickets, and it was supposed to be a surprise, but she cracked the day before. And
She's
told
one
him
of
the story.
those.
Well, because I told her, I was like, do you want me to pick up all the beer and stuff? Because we were at a tailgate. She was like, no, I'll do it. But she was with him. So I was like, are you with him? And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, well, I will get it. Like, it's so fine. It's so fine.
It's so fine.
And Mark was like, well, why is John asking you to get all this beer? Like, he has 4 wheels on his car and he can go get it. Mm-hmm. And then she told him, but I had a good time.
Yay.
I filled up 2 water bottles with pee.
Woo, we love that.
I was very hydrated, some would say. I ran into my cousin who I haven't seen in so long there. So, hey, Allie, if you're listening to this.
Oh my God, hey, Allie girl.
It was great to see you. I'm sorry that I was so drunk. Can't wait to meet your baby.
Did we ever tell that story about when I went to a Phillies game? On here?
Yeah. Okay. I think we told it because we recorded like the following week.
Right.
And you were drunk.
Refer
Barbecue sauce all over your titties.
No, I literally had mustard on my boobs.
And you were trying to be on the Jumbotron. And I was like, and she tried to literally fight a 12-year-old girl.
It's fine.
Ugh.
I went home to my hometown this week.
This past weekend?
No, I was there for longer than a weekend. I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You had fun though.
That drive home was 5.5 hours.
5 hours later.
Right. So I basically died. So
and you took a bus. Do you ever get
rides?
No. Do you ever feel like you're going crazy when you're on the bus for that long? Because
yes.
I don't think the longest bus ride I ever had was from here to Washington, D.C. on a school field trip. And we stopped and I thought I was going to lose my shit.
I thought I was going to lose my fucking mind. Like, it was too much. And the last time I ate was 10
You didn't bring snacks?
PM. No, I forgot. I forgot my fucking Middlesworth chips.
Oh, Middlesworth chips. More than half our listeners don't even know what that is. Middlesworth chips.
Yo, honestly, go on Amazon.
They have them there?
It's Cyber Monday. Yeah.
It's not going to be Cyber Monday when they listen to this.
Oh, well, go on Amazon. Order yourself some. I'll link you. Do it up.
Middlesworth. It is. It's with an A. It's Middles, W-A-R-T-H.
So you have to get the kettle cooked barbecue ones. They're the best.
Yes.
They're the only ones worth your time.
Guys, we have got a great show for you. But before we fucking get into it, I just want to talk about how much nobody cared that I broke my retainer. But listen here.
I cared.
It broke again. I paid... Last episode, I told y'all I broke my retainer on a piece of caramel. And it hasn't been broken for 10 years. So I had to go get it fixed by a dentist because there was nobody open. And I had Friendsgiving on the weekend. And it was going to be 3 days before a person was going to be able to attend to my mouth. Okay. Sorry. Now taking applicants at Oddities Podcast at gmail.com.
Look at
that. So I have to go. I end up going. It fucking breaks again. It breaks while I'm brushing my teeth, of all things. And I have to go to the orthodontist and they fix it. And then I have to pay again. So not only did I pay $75, but I had another copay of like $50.
Stop.
Sorry. So upset. And then after spending that money that I didn't want to spend on Black Friday, instead of going out shopping, I had to go get new tires for myself, expecting to buy 2 new tires. Guess what? Homeboy bought all 4. And rubber, why is rubber expensive? You tell me. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I don't even know why. Why are tires so expensive? Why is life so expensive? I didn't choose to be on this earth.
Tell us how you really feel. Hey guys, okay, sorry. We have a great show
Yeah.
for you today.
Let's jump into this.
Our
We're doing too much.
topic is okay. Let's say it at the same
All
time.
right,
Wait,
let's
we're gonna
drum
say
roll.
okay. Ready? Oh, that was so weak. Hold on.
Conspiracy theories. If y'all remember our conspiracy theory episode we did literally like a year ago.
Hang on, I'm gonna look it up right now. So if you guys like conspiracy theories, they were sorry freaking good.
I spent an entire hour talking about reptilians. And I will say this one, I didn't go into it as much because conspiracy theories are just a fun theory. We're not saying that we 100% believe in this. We're just saying like some things are like uncanny or they have a really weird coincidences. We're not saying that we 100% believe in them. And I got so much backlash.
I know, but your lingo is so funny.
And I just wanted to say that I wanted people to basically like kind of discover things on their own with mine. So I didn't really like go into it like an hour-long episode, just me.
It's because the last 2 episodes it was an hour each, and we each had our own episode. So episode 19, Terrible Vessels, was Sarah's episode on reptilians, and episode 20, we basically let them in, was my episode on Britney Spears. Wow, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
It was. We're shy 1 week of a year.
That's crazy.
Or 2 weeks of a year. Wow.
Woo woo.
Every year we'll do a conspiracy theory. I'm honestly shocked that that was like the
The
only
conspiracy theory ones stress me out because there's so many things I want to cover, but I'm like, I don't know where I should put this in at. I don't know if I should.
Oh my god, that's
it's
how
like,
my brain is.
Yeah, same.
It's like
that's how it was when I was doing this research, and it was too much. And
you know
then I
that
was like,
scene from like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with is that the show that it's from? I can't remember.
no, SpongeBob with the filing cabinets.
Yeah,
and they're on fire.
But I was gonna say like the string board where it's like pictures and there's the strings that lead to like other places. It's just like lines and it's just like all over the place.
And then I like got this idea like, why the fuck am I going into this? Like, if it's interesting, look it up for yourself, see what you can find. You can email us at odditiespodcast@gmail.com and tell us what your theory is on
seriously these. Like I love this show.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I love that you brought that up because true disclaimer, a lot of people have a lot of fucking opinions and you are entitled to your opinion, but if it differs from ours, you're wrong. I'm so kidding. I'm a millennial.
You're fucking wrong.
I'm a millennial. What can I say? I got big tits too.
Me too. And a big gut.
I'm a big gut slut. Whoa, is that name taken
on Twitter?
I love that.
Big gut slut. Should I make that my new Twitter handle?
No, it's my Twitter handle.
Okay, do it. You better do it right now.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now. You guys
look
follow
it up
me.
at big gut slut.
That probably is somebody in there. Okay. What was I gonna... Where are we going?
Wait, hold. I need to change my position in the chair.
So conspiracy theories. Some of them are totally believable. A lot of them are totally bonkers. We did say this in the last one we did, but we're going to say it again. I enjoy conspiracy theories because it's a way of looking at a situation and like flipping it on its head and being like, well, what if the truth we think we know isn't the real truth? Sure, a lot of them are far-fetched. Sure, most of them are not true. But I just like to think about it. It's entertaining to me because some of them are like...
Really coincidental.
Why do you... That's not the right word.
Why?
What are you trying to say?
It's like coincidences.
Like things that...
like things that are like something else, but it's not it. That's a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence.
What's it?
I feel like...
Please edit this out.
You're like Alanis Morissette in Ironic when like we thought it was ironic, but it wasn't.
Help.
Coincidences. A single coming to you in 2019 by Kara Kyman.
Oh my god, I was gonna say Kara Kyman. It's not a coincidence. I'm confused. It's not a coincidence.
A coincidence would be like if I was from Idaho and you were from Idaho and we ran into each other not in Idaho and I was like, hey, how are you? I'm from Idaho.
Well, mine is coincidental.
Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we coincidentally get to it.
I hate you.
I love you. But like we were saying, it might be a thing, it might not be a thing. But feel free to be entertained.
Yeah, and we're letting you into our world, so don't fuck it up. Don't make me put this wall back up.
Oh no.
I trusted you.
Who's going first?
I think
me.
I'll just go first.
Okay.
I'm ready. I got some videos for you guys.
Oh.
I'm going to link some YouTube.
Yes.
I'm Jonathan now.
Hey, Jonathan.
So, hi guys. My conspiracy theory is human cloning.
Oh shit. Okay.
Do you love me now?
Yeah.
So Donald Marshall is a Roman Catholic, self-proclaimed ex-insider of Freemasons and an expert on human cloning. So.
Hold on.
Yes.
I need to get my tinfoil hat.
Yeah, I think you do.
Okay. I got it.
So Donald Marshall wasn't really. Like, he had some YouTube videos out, but he got his, like, kind of, like, big break on a 2011 Facebook post he released in his first public disclosure on the internet with a letter describing his abuses in an underground program of human cloning by non-human entities such as reptilians and works with the world's elite.
You love reptilians. I'm here for it.
Dude, I'm telling you, okay.
It's such a crazy thing. Like,
disclaimer.
Okay, here we go.
That Truthism website. So if you guys are really into reptilians, there's a Truthism website. The guy's kind of an asshole, and he like hates women. So like, but he did mention at one point that like sleep paralysis is like it's reptilians. And I remember one time I was having sleep paralysis for like a whole month and a half. Every time I took a nap. And this one time I saw out the corner of my eye, there was a man. He was really tall. He was in a cloak. And all I could see, it was a black cloak. And all I could see was like his nose and mouth. I couldn't see his eyes.
Because he was a reptilian. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I haven't been on the website.
Okay.
But.
Yes. I sent you that, remember?
You did. And I don't think I buy it.
I mean.
I'm just being devil's advocate because, well.
For me, it's like like, what exactly is sleep paralysis?
See, and that's the thing. Like, what I'm doing right now, I love thinking about that because, like, who's to say it's not? Like, scientifically, it could be X, Y, and Z.
And this is why I have, like, a weird thing because, like, who, like...
You have a weird thing? I think that's just called an enlarged clitoris hood.
But for real, though. It's like, okay, so who's Donald Trump's boss? Me. Who's the president's boss?
It's me.
And then who's that person's boss? And then who's that person's boss?
Well, that's why we have a whole judicial system.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, who is...
Do they really count the votes?
Well, it's just the top people are never mentioned. Like, someone's boss is someone's boss is someone's boss. So that means, like, there are people running this world that we don't know about. And we have no idea what the fuck they're doing. It's,
again, like that episode of SpongeBob where he's like, do mailmen have their own mailmans? And then who delivers their mail? It's,
like, literally one of that. And also, it's, like... Someone has to run the world and they have to have some type of like
it's Beyonce
way they want it, you know. I don't know, I just think it's really like awkward how no one talks about like who's on top of the president of the United States and then who is that and then who is that, you know.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Like the boss's boss. Yeah,
I think that's just the CEO
of the world.
I'd like to talk to the CEO of the world.
Please.
I have a return. I don't have my receipt, but...
Receipt. And then, not to go back to the Truthism website, also mentioned how, like, they... I put finger quotes for those of you who can't see me.
Which is everybody but me.
They kind of, like, want to blame humans for ruining the like ozone layer. So instead of
who else's fault would it be? We're the only people here.
Well, that's the problem. But they started it, but then they're like just shifting it all on us because they're like because no one believes that it's the truth. We're all like super fucking oblivious.
Who do you know the name of the guy who has that Truthism website?
No, I don't. But he last said like in 2014.
I'm gonna look him up.
He's an asshole. I'm gonna warn you.
Okay, but see, that's the thing is, I feel like then people like that.
Don't get credit.
Because I'm not trying to knock it. Because it is fun to think about. But I think if you take it really, really seriously.
I don't take it seriously at all. It's just some things that I'm like, whoa, that's weird. It's like little points that I'll pull from there that I'm like, okay,
that's interesting to think about.
Like the sleep paralysis thing.
Okay, that's interesting to think about.
And then the whole like whose boss is his boss is his boss.
But if you start to fall down, it can be really unhealthy.
It's a rabbit hole.
If you start to fall down a rabbit hole that is made by somebody who might not be mentally all there.
Yeah, right. You never know.
You don't fucking know this person.
That's why for me, I take it with a grain of salt. I'm like, okay, this could be a thing, but again, like one, I wouldn't want to know because that shit is really weird, and two, it's fine. This is life anyway. Like even if I did know the truth, I wouldn't be able to change it. So like I just take it with a grain of salt and be like, oh, that's an interesting concept, and I move on.
You could change the world.
I could change the world. All right, back to David Marshall.
Okay, let's go. Sorry.
So he detailed several types of cloning done at these underground bases, but most notable is REM-driven clones. So an REM-driven cloning is cleverly hidden in the TV series Jonathan Strange and the Mr. Norrell. Did you ever see that?
Never even heard of it.
Well, it's like a British fantasy series that appeared on Netflix. It's about magic and the occult. One of these...
Is it a Netflix original?
Yeah, I think so.
It's recenter.
So,
Recenter. Hi.
It's
We're a good
recenter.
source of information and
Yeah.
protein.
So, one of the characters in the show is practicing light magic, and he got mixed in with dark arts when his wife became sick. After she passed away, he is so sad that he seeks out the dark magician known as the Gentleman, who can bring her back, but at a price. He says that for half of her life, her soul is mine. So, not understanding these cryptic words, the character agrees. As it turns out,
That shit don't sound cryptic to me. It'd be like, you want her soul? No, Mr. Gentleman.
Right. After her life means her sleeping half and her dreams, in other words, no longer belonging to her. So every night upon Lady Pole sleeping, she's transported to a dark ball or a party where people dance in the courtyard of the gentleman's castle.
That sounds lit.
Oh, it sounds like that story that girl told.
Oh, is that why you asked that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. I want to tell that story.
You can, because I didn't really mention it in here.
Okay.
Lady Pole is forced to dance with a gentleman and with other men there.
Did you rewatch that video when I told you who it was?
I did.
Isn't it nuts? I just think there's something up, and she's very oblivious, so she didn't know she was revealing shit.
For me, I didn't really put it in here because it kind of wasn't really on the topic.
No, that's so fine. But
I didn't want to
No, that's fine. I'm just saying off the record. I was wondering if you went back.
That's why I asked you about that. And me and Na were talking about something similar to this. That's what made me pick this topic.
Love it. And I'll after Sarah's done her story, I'll talk about it a little, so you guys aren't just like, why do you talk about things and then say we can't talk? I hate when people
totally forgot
do
that we were having a conversation and you were going to put that in there. I thought that was off record.
Oh yeah, no, I'll probably leave it in there.
Okay. So losing her dream slowly drives Lady Pole nuts in the waking world. She soon fears falling asleep and will do anything to stay awake. And this could be why often we see celebrities looking sleepless. The media spins it as drugs, but perhaps it could be that they are afraid to sleep and be sucked into a clone body, forced to participate in the rituals and acts of violence and torture. Just a thought, So Lady Pole is under a spell that forbids her from talking about it. Whenever she tries to disclose, she instead spews out old nursery rhymes and basically weird shit. So there was a YouTube video of Bruce Willis doing kind of the same thing. He snaps into a thing and he's talking gibberish and then snaps right back out of it.
Could be drugs.
Basically. That's what I'm saying. All these could be drugs,
could be something else.
Or a mental illness.
Right.
It's just it's speculated.
Speculation.
Is that the right word?
Is that what you were trying to say? Speculation.
Maybe not coincidence.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be tired, but I am.
You were really set on that word.
I was like, it's coincidence, so I said that. So back to the explanation of the REM-driven clones. As long as they've created a second body for this individual, their consciousness can be transported to these hidden husks at the press of a button.
Okay, so, hold on. Sorry to interrupt, but REM. So sleep? Are we talking about here? Because this woman's talking about sleeping.
Yes.
You're talking about REM.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, they're unconscious until they're sleeping. Isn't that weird? That's the gist of what they're saying.
You're woke when you're asleep.
Yeah. So they can tell they're in a realm that they're not supposed to be in. They're conscious
when they're asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Just needed some Windex, some clarity. Thank you.
So not only is this the elite's main method of meetups in the modern world, but also the technological solution to their bloodlust and desire to torture and abuse children to no end. Now I have that weird thing of why do children go missing? Where are they going?
Yeah.
It's a really weird concept.
It's fucked up, but it's sex trafficking.
Yeah,
human
that's
trafficking.
True. But
Child trafficking.
Pizzagate and stuff.
Treading some murky water.
I know. Okay. David also revealed on Facebook that he is an otherwise normal guy who had the bad luck of finding himself in a so-called cloning station run by Queen Elizabeth.
Herself?
Yep. When Marshall was born, his family was already living in the cloning center. The basics of his story are, during his time at the cloning station, Marshall discovered that the entire operation is run by a collection... The basics of his story are, during his time at the cloning station, Marshall discovered that the entire operation is run by a collective consisting of the Freemasons, a group called the Vril Society, and of course Scientologists. The secret society supergroup is what we know as today as the ever-elusive Illuminati. Members of the Illuminati, which naturally include all the G20. So, have you watched the new American Horror Story? Did you finish it?
No. Wait, is it over already?
Yes.
It is?
Yes, I'm about to
The whole
spoil
season
it.
is... No,
yes.
please don't.
Well...
Okay, hang on. I'm going to plug my ears. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I can't. Okay.
So, in the series, it kind of talks about the
Wait, hold on.
Illuminati.
I am going to go to the other room.
Okay, but you're going to hear this.
Ah, fuck!
Just sit down.
Oh,
so,
no.
in American Horror
Wait,
Story...
I'm not ready. Okay, wait. Okay. Spoiler alert, you guys. Fast forward if you haven't seen it and you plan on it. But I'm gonna be. It's ruined for me.
So-
It's fine. It's fine. Here I'm saying it. So it's fine.
Jonathan has never said it's fine to me in a passive-aggressive tone, and he just did it, and I think I'm about to cry. So basically, in the American Horror Story, when they're trying to make the plan to end the world, they sit in a room with basically this elite 20 group, and it's basically like people from different countries that are really, really, really powerful, and there's 20 of them.
Only 20?
Yep.
That's like homeroom.
They typically meet in subterranean bunkers, the very same bunkers that, according
Oh,
to
I thought you were going to
Marshall-
go real deep in that.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Has become highly lucrative networking of celebrity cloning farms.
Cloning farms?
The cloning part of the operation didn't actually start until sometime after World War II, at which point, as Marshall explained in his Facebook post, this is a quote by him, the political people started bringing movie stars and musicians there to hang out around with them. They can control who remembers the cloning facility and who will remain oblivious, even though not remembering still damages you. That's a quote by Marshall. Some of these clones are used for mere entertainment value, like gladiator-style wrestling and sexual provisions, Illuminati ritual sacrifices, things like that.
I love a good sacrifice.
Others are kept as precautionary measures should the clone's original ever need a new liver. If you saw the 2005 sci-fi flick... If you saw the 2005 sci-fi flick The Island, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. Because in a fit of hubris, The Island was produced by none other than the Illuminati themselves. So the Island is like, basically it's like a movie about the cloning facility and stuff like that.
I've never seen it.
Organ harvesting is also found in these cloning facilities as well. So like if a clone, something happens to organs, they replace it with that.
So how are they cloned?
In a, it's like... It looks
easy
like a
bake
ship.
oven?
Yeah, it basically looks like that.
It just looks like it's powered by a light bulb.
Love that.
Perfect. Isn't it weird how a light bulb can cook cookies?
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, bake cookies. Why don't we call them
it's heat,
bakies?
right?
If you're
Sorry.
baking a cookie, it's not really a cookie. It's a bakey.
I hate you.
Just a thought.
So the royal family of England, yes, Queen Elizabeth, Philip Duke of
Are you adding her?
Edinburgh, and Prince Charles, sorry Queen,
You're not. Sorry, Queen.
are the worst of them.
Oh,
Unbelievable, depraved perverts, all showing off for celebrities that go there. Elizabeth has the children there, call her Lilibet, and does ungodly things to them. Some she fakes being nice to, some she is terrible to, cutting them with swords while they scream. The decent people that are there against her will are afraid to say anything against them. Most have their children there as a kind of hostage to be torn apart if they ever think of informing anyone.
Do you really think that her in her little kitten heels is out here doing this?
You never know. You don't know what happens. You don't know.
That's true.
And I said, this is just
Right.
a fun
I
theory
know,
to me.
I know.
It's not like I'm like, oh my god, yeah, this definitely happens because I see it in her eye. Like, no.
She wears kitten heels. And she's like chunky clunkers.
Right. So just like
Wait, that's what they used to call me in high school.
Chunky Clunkers?
Yeah.
What?
They didn't.
Is that so? I was like, huh? So, just like twins or real dolls, if you torture a person's clone, the original will feel it and might even undergo physical damage. Each new clone decreases your mental capacity as well, so the more clones made, the easier that the person is hurt. Two of Queen Elizabeth's favorite pastimes, according to this man.
Is this coming from Truthism?
No, this is from the Facebook post that Marshall did.
Oh, okay. You're okay. I didn't know if you found this on the Truthism.
Yeah, no, I didn't. So he says that if you really want to keep someone under your thumb, all you have to do is kill the original copy. Clones are notoriously obedient, which apparently comes in handy when you need them to churn out hit after hit. So, like, the singles that they do and all that.
Oh, okay, right.
So
I forgot celebrities.
We're going to start with Britney Spears.
You guys, it's episode 20.
He says Britney Spears is dead.
She does act very strange.
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
well,
sorry.
there's a site that says Britney is dead, and it's like, it's all
It must be true.
It's
Heard it here.
Shut the fuck up. It's all basically like pointing out all these weird
things that she does.
Shit. Yeah.
Honestly, if you just follow her on Instagram and look at her when she's not like performing, you can tell something's wrong.
It's up, yeah. So it says back in 1998, right before dropping the now classic "Baby One More Time," Britney and Justin Timberlake got into a particularly nasty car accident that resulted in severe burns on Justin's part and an unfortunate case of decapitation on Britney's. And it says Justin is still in a coma while his clone roams free.
Whoa.
And it says because pop stars must have heads, the label was forced to find a Britney Spears stand-in.
Not the fact that she was dead. It's just the fact that she didn't have a head. Can you imagine?
So Britney'sDead.com claims that the label's producers went to the mall and found a young lookalike named Britney Spears. This seems...
Wait, then what was the original?
You'll never know. This seems unlikely and
well, but
leaves
she
us with
wasn't,
only one possibility.
That doesn't make any sense. I know it's just a theory.
It's Britney Shears.
Shears. Okay, but the new girl they found at the mall was Britney Shears?
Yes. I just have to laugh. I had to put that in there.
Wait, did you make that part up?
No.
Someone else made
yes,
that up.
that's what this guy says.
Okay.
All
right.
And then it says, over the years, plenty of Britney clothes have come and gone, which would explain her many emotional ups and downs. According to Marshall, at any given time, there are at least 2 to 5 backup clones waiting underground for their return in the spotlight. Like any clone, the Britney copies are not at all happy with their lot in life. So in 2009's Break the Ice, one of the songs written for Britney by Donald Marshall during his time as a pop clone lyricist, she managed to sneak in some hints at the reality of her situation. This included an accompanying animated video that depicts her blowing up an actual cloning center.
Right, that was the music video where she sent out clones to distract the paparazzi, right?
Yep.
Okay. You didn't wait, hold on. Oh my god,
hello?
wait. Hold on. Tell me you've seen the video of the lady with the monster can and she's just like bottoms up, the devil laughs. And then does that face. That's exactly what you just fucking did. I'm so done. That was so funny.
Britney Shears is listening.
Hey, Britt. Please sponsor us.
Now we're going to move on to Miley Cyrus.
Moldy citrus.
Back in 2010, with rebellious teen sensation, Disney had Miley Cyrus killed and dumped her remains in a California desert. There are 2 possible reasons for this. One theory states that in the months before her accident, Miley leaked nudes, smoked salvia, and wrote in a song that she was hot, which is to say, Miley Cyrus...
She must be murdered.
Right.
Have her vagina sewn shut.
Had become a natural disgrace. To save its brand, Disney was left with only one option: murder.
Or, you could just...
murder. There's
murder.
this other story, and this theory is bizarre, and you're about to yell at me for even mentioning it. The other theory...
Is it Aaron Carter? Because I will pop off.
alleges that Miley Cyrus refused the sexual advances of various Disney executives. After realizing that Miley intended to remain not obedient in her decision to not partake in their blood orgies, a Disney higher-up beat her up, left her for dead, and brought in the clones.
Okay.
All right.
Bring in the clones, Kronk.
Here we have another one.
Can I guess who it is?
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
No.
Frankie Muniz.
No.
Tony Braxton.
No. Another alleged clone is Taylor Swift. Swift
Okay.
has an oddly similar resemblance to
a
former
cat.
high priestess Xena LaVey.
Okay, wait. Was that the girl? She was on like Maury, or maybe not Maury.
No, this is like
She was on like a television show, wasn't she?
Yes.
What was the television show? Do you know? Or it might have been.
I think I said it here. She was on a show in the 90s. It was in the 90s.
Was it Ricky Lake?
No, it was Joe. It wasn't Josie. It was something like that. Hold on, let me see.
Somebody's out there screaming. Do you ever? You are a loud fucking typer. Imagine if you had acrylic nails and worked at the DMV. Do you ever listen to podcasts and like they're trying to figure something out and you're screaming it so loud because you know?
Right.
I do
feel like
that, and people are doing that to us right now. But hold on, we're gonna figure it out. Jesse Raphael.
Yes.
The Sally Jesse Raphael show.
Yes, that
The
one.
fuck is that?
I don't know, but she was on there. So,
Yes, and that's what the picture's from.
yeah.
Wow. Taylor.
So Swift has an oddly similar resemblance to former high priestess Xena LaVey. Some people are convinced that Swift could be an incarceration, a clone of LaVey, which is still living. LaVey's father was founder of the Church of Satan, and she served as a high priestess from 1985 to 1990. And also we have Taylor talks
Swift
a big game of being born in 1989. And that was her album name.
1989.
Mm-hmm.
You have me on this one. I'm sold. 100%.
Okay.
I'll sell my soul.
Also an artist and musician, LaVey has since renounced her father's church and devoted her life to Satanism.
I'm sorry. Say that. What?
It's Satanism.
Satanism? Like.
Yeah, so they call it the Temple of Set.
Set.
Yeah.
Not like Seth, like we're not worshiping
Nope.
Seth Green.
Well, it's
Why aren't we worshiping Seth Green?
It's Satanism, but for short, they call it the Temple of Set.
Okay.
So she's now a high priestess of the Temple of Set.
How does she make money?
2002.
Does she make money doing that? And are they hiring?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
I'm looking
Ask the
to
Church of
find a new
Satan,
hobby.
You know?
Yeah. Church of Satan, if you're listening, Oddities podcast
And I
at
have
gmail.com.
look at this fucking picture.
Ew. Whoa. Also, no offense, Taylor Swift, but she's kind of basic.
Right?
She's kind of basic.
Right?
Love you, girl.
Also, I think I said that
I love shit like this, though. Like, this is the
she
shit
was
I
a high
like.
priestess from 1985. I meant 1989.
To 1990? She had a whole 365 unsuccessful days?
Yep.
It was a year?
Yeah, because I think that's when she renounced that that she was leaving the church and then went to Satanism. But not really about her.
I don't know about you.
All right, let's get into how Marshall was a celebrity songwriter in
Is
this
a
clone.
thing? Okay, is this a thing?
place.
I'm curious. You have me reeled in. You just have to pull a little tighter
Because you don't believe me.
No,
you don't
yeah.
have to. This isn't.
I know. I just convince me, baby.
Okay, so here we go. This is a whole like quote by him. So if I say I mean Marshall. This is a huge fucking quote by him.
Okay.
So here we go. Marshall explains, at age 5, I was brought there to be a diddle kid, to be molested by rich old men or women or whatever, but I would cry and they would feel bad for me, which is rare because they don't feel bad for anyone. So they asked me, is there anything else you can do? Do you do any singing or dancing? So I started singing a song and they said, wow, that's great. So I made another song and soon someone famous used one of my songs and I became this magical organic jukebox they could kick and a song would come out. People think I'm trying to brag. I'm not. It's actually shameful because I made a lot of money for a lot of evil people.
Hell.
And
That's
the
everyone in corporate America.
propagation of an alien infestation body snatching thing. And this is why I kept getting brought back and why I am still alive. The first song I wrote was Lady for Kenny Rogers and sang it trying to show off for Queen Elizabeth.
Wow. Okay. Hold on. Out of like any song that he could have written, that's not one that Kenny Rogers did not come to mind.
Right. So everyone at cloning is afraid of her and does what she says. While I didn't want to go there, after a time I gathered up my courage and told her I didn't want to go. She was always setting me up to be a victim. The song making was a bonus. She wanted me a victim. She wanted to make it look like I was a bad person so people wouldn't attempt to speak up for me. Because she has nothing... She basically runs the place. She's not a victim or hostage. She runs the place, and everyone is afraid to say they don't want to go there. This is why I was like, "Are you good?"
Yeah.
This part, but
when it starts to take a left turn.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Ooh, we were kind of following you, but."
So it says, you see, in the past, it was only politicians. It was a meeting place for politicians to discuss worldly affairs, and in the event of emergencies, smoothing things over. But then everyone started getting bored, so then they started bringing Marilyn Monroe and different film stars in to make it more exciting.
Hold on. Pause really quick.
Yeah.
You gave me a look like, what?
Yeah, what's up?
Lady, I thought was written by Lionel Richie. Or was that a different song?
It's probably a different song. There's probably a lot of songs called Lady.
Hold on. Hold, please. Lady by Kenny Rogers. No, it was written and produced by Lionel Richie. Is this Lionel Richie? Is that what the twist is? Okay. Oh my God, I'm excited.
Who's Kenny Rogers?
Oh my God. Don't tell my mom that.
Okay.
Mom, hide the Christmas albums.
Right, literally. So he says that kept going. It turned into this exclusive club where everyone would go do depraved things and be a superhero that can't die. You can die as a clone and you'll live in real life.
Okay, but to kill the clone, you kill the human copy. Or
yeah.
the original copy.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And they have a way of turning off the pain sensors so you can just jump down the stairs and break all of the bones in your body and look up and laugh and die. And come back into the next clone body.
Yeah, I have that too. It's called a fucking whole handle of Captain Morgan.
Okay. Marshall states Nicki Minaj and Kesha both use songs I was forced to make. Let's go back to 1980. I was making these songs and a bunch of freaks there thought that they were religious connotations from what I was singing. Some even thought I was being whispered these songs, lyrics, and melodies from God, even though a percentage of them don't even believe in God there. Well, after the time in the 80s, I was making songs for Bon Jovi, only a few on each album, but after a time, people only wanted to listen to those 2 or 3 songs.
Everybody was doing hella synthetic drugs in the 80s.
Okay.
And also, Bon Jovi is French for good Jovi.
Oh, God. Who's Jovi? A good example is the George Satellites. They got a song from me called Keep Your Hands to Yourself. And they were like a one-hit wonder because of that one song, and that was the one song I made for them. He even went on to Much Music here in Canada and said, listen, there are other songs on the album. Why don't you listen to those too?
That's like Tommy Two Tones. He's like, 8675309 is not the only song I fucking have.
Literally, okay? Alright, so, this is like, I feel like this is going to really shoot you back. You're going to hate this, but it's a part of the thing. So.
Okay. Shoot me back, baby.
When I couldn't come up with ideas, sometimes Elizabeth and the rest of them would threaten me with being harmed, tortured, and say that they can cut the skin off you there. And it feels just like real. It's a good motivational tool. It worked. Eventually, I would start singing a song. I've referenced this in many songs about getting tortured in dreams and hearts and souls and stuff. It's like vague hints about cloning. Some of them aren't vague at all. Some of them are very obvious, and I did them to use in the future when I eventually portrayed them and came out publicly. However, I thought I would only get one shot at this, and then they would kill me. But little did they know they were never going to kill me. Okay. I mean, little did I know they were never going to kill me.
Okay, not yet. But wait, quick question. So, clearly it's a little confusing and all over the place and not exactly 100% believable.
Well, that's the thing about him. It was very hard to find any directly quotes from him because they were all on YouTube, and he is very all over the place.
Okay, so my question... Okay, so we have possibly some mental illness going on there, but we're going with this. My question is, if he's talking about... Is he... Oh, sorry. Is he from the UK?
No.
Okay, so what does the Queen have to do with anything? If he's writing... Hold on, but if this stuff is about the Queen, right?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Kenny Rogers, who's an American artist, or Nicki Minaj or Kesha?
He's saying that the Queen runs the cloning facilities in America.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like they're using him to make all these songs.
Oh, okay.
So I have clips. We're gonna get into the YouTube clips now.
Ooh.
So first we have a clip of Mark Zuckerberg.
You kind of need to remind yourself that you need to focus and try not to let stuff bother you as much as possible. But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
So as you hear there, Mark Zuckerberg says he is not human, meaning that he's a possible clone.
He also could have been nervous talking in front of people. He's Mark Zuckerberg. He's like an awkward dude. But you know what? Because like sometimes you talk and you're just like, oh, I mean, like I used to be an alcoholic. I still am, but like I also used to be one too. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know who Kid Buu is?
Yes.
Here is a clip of him explaining that he's now a second generation clone that escaped from a cloning facility. Are you ready?
Where'd you grow up?
South Florida.
Okay. I guess you were born in Jersey?
Yeah. Originally, my first gen. I'm a second gen now. That's why you see the celebrity bursts say I'm born in Toronto, but that's false. My first gen was born in Jersey. However, I was cloned by Clonate in Canada. My model number is 0112568, if anyone wants to see the registration in Clonate.
Okay. So then you ended up in South Florida?
Yeah.
Okay. And what nationality are you?
Sicilian and Puerto Rican.
Okay. Sicilian and Puerto Rican. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Those are my
up.
two genomes.
Okay. So who's the Puerto Rican one? Who's the Sicilian one?
When I was cloned, they wiped a lot of memory, but when I stole the documents before escaping, I read that the mother was Puerto Rican and I guess the father's surrogate, you could say, was the sperm donor was the Sicilian.
Okay. So you're a test tube baby.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And I guess you have a fraternal twin.
Yeah.
Brother or sister?
Brother.
Okay. So you guys, fraternal twins, is different from identical twins. So do you guys look kind of similar or not really?
I don't think anyone looks as similar as me.
Okay. Okay. Are you guys real close?
Yeah, we're close. We're really close.
Okay. So you were actually raised by a single mother?
Yeah, that's true. Our mom,
Okay.
single.
Where was your father around during that time?
I don't know. Like I said, a lot of the memories from Clonate were erased just so that way the new gen can move forward with whatever new programming was made.
Okay.
So as you can see, this video is like 9 minutes long, so I'm going to cut it there, and if you want to watch it, we're going to link it there. So as you can see, it talks about second generation cloning and literally says that he was cloned.
Right. But also, he's like a SoundCloud rapper. He's like up and coming. So I think...
But they have to start him now. They say like cloning like it's stages. So
Right.
they start them when they know that they pick people.
Okay.
And to go off.
Right. No, I get it. I'm just being devil's advocate. I'm totally going with this story. I love it. I'm here for it. But also, I'm just thinking like, an up-and-coming SoundCloud rapper. Everybody's a fucking SoundCloud rapper now.
Right.
How are you going to stand out? You're going to tell people you're cloned. Why the fuck do you think Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Logan Paul.
Logan
No,
Paul?
Logan Paul, who's like fallen off because he's a fucking asshole and he recorded a dead body in the woods.
Yeah.
He now is like saying he's a flat earther when he's not. But he's just doing it because any
needs,
publicity
like,
is good
something
publicity.
out. Yeah.
Any publicity is good publicity. Because you know what's happening now? Go on Snapchat. If you open your Snapchat today, right now, because I saw it today, is he's like on the headline. It's just like, wow, I haven't seen that name. I didn't know he was still making fucking videos. Not that I give a fuck, but now I'm seeing it.
Also, Shane Dawson has amazing conspiracy theory videos.
Yes, he does.
Like, he's like taking it off. Like, where did you come from with that?
Maybe he's
In there.
a cyborg.
So, that's my conspiracy theory, human cloning.
Wow.
Like I said, I kept it really vague because I don't want to push my opinion on people. And like I said, I just did this for fun. I think the concept is
Right.
like cool.
It's fun to think about.
It's fun to think about. If you want to dig deeper into it, you should look at all the
The sources in our show notes.
sources in our shout outs, and also
And our shout outs. They better just be shout outs.
And Donald Marshall's YouTube videos. That's where you can basically find everything that's directly quoted to him.
I have not heard of him, but I look forward to spending a lot of time looking into him.
Yeah, here we go.
So what do you truly think of that?
So I've always been into that weird like Illuminati thing. For me, I kind of do believe that there's something weird going on, just because like if you look at YouTube videos and like they'll be like celebrities will like glitch out, and like their MK Ultra will like
right, but I don't
turn off for a second.
I don't buy a lot of that shit.
Did you see Al Roker's? The one time the girl said, what did she say? Heavenly spirit, and he like tweaked out, and he was like frozen for like 5 minutes. I could
just
also
saw him
link that YouTube.
on the Thanksgiving Day parade. I know he had bypass surgery, but like he looks great. His skin looks great.
Yeah,
maybe
Al.
I need to be a cyborg.
Same. Okay.
Because he like looks really good. Do you remember when he was on the Proud Family?
Proud Family.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Good time.
Ooh.
Well, thank you for sharing. That was fantastic.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Did you just like hiccup burp?
Yeah.
And then rub your titty?
Yeah.
Guys, this is a credible podcast. Give us 5 stars.
Please.
Sorry. Are you ready for my conspiracy theory? You guys, this is the conspiracy theory that the Titanic never sank.
Oh my god. Okay, let's do this. I
Okay.
can't wait.
All right, guys, hear me out. So, on April 10th, 1912, 2,000 people boarded the Titanic in Southampton on its maiden voyage to New York City. On the 4th day at sea, it struck an iceberg, and just 3 hours later, it sat at the bottom of the ocean. But what if I told you the Titanic never sank at all? In fact, what if I told you that it never left the dock?
Ooh.
Okay, so when I okay, I'm just gonna get into it. In 1907, American financier J.P. Morgan was a shareholder.
Wait.
Yes.
That JP Morgan?
Yes.
Oh god, okay.
So 1907, American financier J.P. Morgan was a shareholder for the White Star Line. So the White Star Line was an elite cruise ship line, which was formed in order to create kind of a monopoly in the North Atlantic passenger trade. It's kind of hard to explain, but literally it was just like a line of a couple different cruise ships that were just like kind of monopolizing the game.
Okay, that makes sense. Like kind of like big corporation cruise ships.
Yeah, that were
Okay.
kind of competing with each other, but either way,
But were they in the same?
You win.
Oh, okay. So they were in the same type of.
Yeah, and
Like they were all going back to the same person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like owned by it's a company that owns like so. At the company I work for, we have like this company that makes like paper towels, and then we have this other company that makes paper towels. I don't know if I can actually say who it is.
No, don't.
If you do research, you can find it out.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not trying to jeopardize my job.
No.
But they're like bigger paper towels that people know about, and like they compete against each other.
But it's like the same
But
person.
either way, they are owned by the same person. They're just like, it's genius.
Yeah.
Because you're like a competitor. Like, are
You're a
you
competitor for yourself.
a good point would be let's just say that like Hellman's mayonnaise was owned by Miracle Whip, because you know how the whole people are like
Miracle Whip is better, yeah.
yeah, but like they're owned by the same company,
Yeah.
but they create this whole thing.
Like what's better?
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, it's all going into one pocket.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Okay, so basically they were trying to monopolize all this. I just glitched out. Am I a cyborg? I wish
It's
I was
not
a
like
cyborg.
that. I'm gonna show you the Al Roker
Okay,
video.
no, I
after we're
can't wait.
done.
I love Al Roker.
Fuck Al Roker.
No, I would.
He's a cyborg.
He's great skin. Okay, so within the luxury line, there were 3 ships constructed. So there was the, follow me here, Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. So the Olympic was the first ship completed. So on June 14th, 1911, under the command of Captain Edward J. Smith, the Olympic collided with a tugboat off the shores of New York. No colossal damage was done to the Olympic. However, the tugboat nearly sank. Many were injured, but none died. So then 3 months later, on September 20th, 1911, Captain Edward Smith again was commander of the Olympic. yet again, everything was running smoothly until it collided with a Navy warship, the HMS Hawk.
Wait, so the Olympic collided with this?
Yes,
Okay.
this is before the Titanic was done. This is before the Britannic was done. This is solely one cruise ship. And this, what I'm telling you right now, is factual. There's documents and there's photographs of this shit happening. So this isn't a hypothetical part.
Okay.
I will let you know when I'm just like, this is the theory part.
Okay.
Sorry. This is the second crash 3 months later, September 20th, 1911, run by the same dude, Captain Edward Smith, collided with a Navy warship, the HMS Hawk. But this collision was far more damning to the ship. So the Olympic was now terribly damaged, and it tilted slightly left. So like if you're on the ship and there's a table and you put a marble on the table, it's gonna roll off the table towards the left. So we're just gonna keep that
Gotta love them marbles.
in the back of our pockets. So when taken to the pay attention. When taken to the insurance company, they quickly declined paying for the Olympic's repairs, claiming that it was the fault of the Olympic for the ship's collision. So now the White Star Line, they had a damaged ship. They had the Olympic, and they had no insurance to cover the fucking repairs, and heavy debt weighed on the White Star Line. And again, this was before the other ships were completed.
Wait, so when the Olympic hit that thing, it's now damaged?
It's damaged, and insurance is not covering it because they were like, that
It's their
was your fault.
Because it's slightly...
It's not just the fact that it's slightly tilting to the left. I think I'm going to get into it, but there was other parts of the ship that were damaged that were very fucking expensive.
Okay.
So again, at this time, the Titanic was still being built, but it was going to have to be put on hold due to the money needed for the Olympics repair. And if the Olympic was not out at sea making a profit, the entire White Star Line was in jeopardy. Think about that. They can't continue to pay for the Titanic or the Britannic to be built because they don't have any
They're
fucking
in debt,
money
yeah.
because they need to repair the ship. How else are they going to make money doing this, right?
Ooh, here it goes.
So here comes some theories possibly. So with no time to spare in a shipyard, repairs were made, but the Olympic was still slightly leaning to the left. And that was kind of something that it wasn't it wasn't hella obvious, and it wasn't damning to the ship where like you could still sail it out and it wasn't just going to flop over to the left. It was just kind of like inconvenient, and you could kind of feel it. Like it wasn't a huge tilt.
Right.
But if you're looking at the front of it, you can kind of see like ever so slight tilt to the left.
Right.
So again, repairs were made. It was deemed unrepairable that they could fix the tilt to the left. So then on February 24th, 1912, again under the command of Edward Smith, homeboy, listen, maybe try something else.
Yeah, like help.
Try your
help
hand
him.
at like bagging groceries.
Yeah.
That's a fine job. I had it. So again, Edward Smith. The Olympic ran over a sunken wreck off the coast of New York. This
Love that.
did in fact happen. That is not a theory. The accident did no remarkable damage to the ship, but it did tear off a propeller blade on the starboard side. First off, don't know what the fuck
stays
a
getting in accidents.
starboard is. Yeah, but it's run by the same fucking dude. You would think like 1, 2, 3, 6, you're out at the old ball
Yeah,
game.
legit. Like,
Sweetie.
hello, fire this man.
Take a seat.
Oh,
Take the heat.
right. Stay out of the kitchen.
So, when it returned back to the shipyard, a starboard propeller stamped with the Titanic's number was taken from the Titanic. This is a fact. Taken from the Titanic, put on the Olympic. This is a documented fact. So now the Olympic, that is the ship,
Is the
lost
Titanic.
one propeller. So you know how propellers, they usually have the 3 prongs. I'm pretty sure this one had 3. The
Yeah.
big spinny, it's like a fan.
Yeah.
One of those had fallen off. There is a picture of it. I will link it. And it was replaced with one of the Titanics because the Titanic was still being built, but they
Right.
needed a way to like make money or some shit.
Yeah. So they needed to sail this Olympic out ASAP.
Yes. So the Olympic seemed to be cursed, and though he was the most experienced captain at the time, Edward Smith clearly did not seem to be doing such a hot job. However, no other man could operate the White Line ships due to how large and advanced they were. So honestly, think about it. Do you think I could not fucking do a cruise ship?
No.
You think
also, I'm literally like in charge of the lives of like 10,000 people. No. Secondly, it's just too much.
it's too fucking much. You think my tight little ass is gonna literally? It's a building. It's a building on water.
Okay.
No. In 1910, first off, my girdle's too tight. Okay. Second off, I can't show my ankles. Third off, you think I'm going to take this fucking building. Also, how the fuck do boats float? Don't make sense. Even though scientifically it does make perfect sense. Like, how you going to be so heavy and floating? Well, that's something different for the Titanic now, wasn't it? Unless it didn't sink.
Oop, oop, oop.
Here we go, y'all. So money was being lost quickly, and the White Star Line was on the brink of capsizing. Did you like that pun? Word choice? That. Loved it. Okay, so J.P. Morgan concocted a plan. Now, this is a theory, but it could be possible. So they were going, this is J.P. Morgan's plan that he concocted. They were going to replace the fully insured Titanic with the cursed and damaged Olympic.
And call it the Titanic.
So once out at sea, the Olympic, now posing as the Titanic, was to intentionally be damaged greatly in order to collect the insurance money.
Oh God, it's all about money.
That insurance, yeah, but think about it. They were in a tight spot.
Right.
That insurance money would then pay for the Olympic, and they could finish the Titanic.
Yeah.
So what they were about to send out and see, they're saying, is the Olympic, we're going to call the Titanic, make everybody think it's a totally different ship. We're going to damage that ship, and then anything that's damaged on that ship that's out there, which happens to be the Olympic, will be fixed. Everything is gravy. It's going to be fine. Yeah. And then we're going to have two other ships. We're going to have the Britannic, the Titanic, which neither of them have ever left the port.
They're still being built.
And the Olympic, which has been fucked up, is now going to be like brand new, and insurance is going to cover all of it. We're just going to make shmoney, honey.
Yeah.
So since the real Titanic was now new, it was going to be insured for a much higher amount than the busted Olympic was now worth. Because if they said, hey, this is the Olympic, we're going to send it out, then everyone they damage the Olympic.
No.
Yeah, they would be like, well, it's damaged, so we can't insure it for that high amount because it's been through some shit.
And no one would have got on because they probably heard about all the fucking shit.
Right? I wouldn't get on.
Olympic went into.
Hell no. But basically, this was pretty much going to make this the biggest insurance fraud scheme of all time.
Wow.
So then there was this ship called the Californian. This is a fact. Californian, there was a ship called the Californian. Now, if this part following is true, go with me here, okay? So a ship named the Californian was appointed to be near the Olympic, posing as the Titanic, as the ship would strike an iceberg in order to safely rescue the people in the staged collision. Collision?
Oh.
Hello, collision.
I didn't know that they planned it to hit the iceberg.
Yes, because, no, that's what I'm saying, is they planned to hit the iceberg. The Olympic was going to hit the iceberg. Yeah. It was going to be damaged. They were going to save the people. The boat was not going to go down. It was going to be salvageable. They were going to take it back to port, and they were going to have insurance cover every fucking thing. Everything was going to be pecan sandy. So, but if the Olympic was supposed to be hit by the iceberg intentionally, baby, where was the Titanic? Well, I'm glad you asked, Sarah.
Show me the Carfax.
I will. So the real Titanic would be properly built and continued its life disguised as the Olympic.
Okay. So the Titanic would be the Olympic, and the Olympic would be the Titanic.
Yes.
Got it.
And the only reason that they're switching is for the insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, our periods are synced like the Titanic.
Yeah.
Unless the Titanic never sank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it, Ariana Grande. Sounds like she's really here with us. So the money collected from the insurance would be enough to build a brand new boat, and it would be the rebirth of the White Star Line, baby girl.
Woo!
They said, you bring your family, you bring your ugly friends. We're going to set out to sail with the fort.
Look at this state-of-the-art ship.
I'm calling the cops right fucking now. So how, you're probably wondering, I'm sure, how could they get away with this? How would nobody notice? Well, Sarah, thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Because according to historians, swapping the ships would have been a small task and quite easy to get away with. They were docked in the same marina. I don't know if it was a marina, if it's huge. Is it called a marina if it's like huge?
Probably. Marina. Yeah.
We're just going to call it a dock.
Oh.
So they were docked in the same dock, and everything on the ship was White Star Line branded. So, everything was pretty much the same.
On either
And
ship?
it was totally interchangeable between the ships. They actually had thought about this before any of this insurance fraud. They were like, well, what if we need extra forks on the Titanic? Well, simply take it from the Britannic and everybody's going to be eating shepherd's pie tonight. So, like, they just made everything, like, interchangeable.
same.
The
Wow.
only things that would have needed to be changed were the nameplates on the ships, which is, like, on the side of the ship.
Right.
The names on the side of the rescue boats and the food menus in each dining hall. Isn't that crazy that that's all that had, like,
Yeah.
the branding on
really
it?
Crazy.
Okay, so from the outside, the sister boats were identical. Well,
Look at that.
almost identical. The Olympic had 16 portholes on the blueprints, whereas the Titanic had 14 portholes on the blueprint.
Yikes.
And you can look that shit up and take it to the bank. However, there's a photograph of the quote Titanic, end quote, setting sail on her maiden voyage, but there are 16 portholes, not 14.
Ooh, wait.
Doesn't match the blueprint,
Right.
which then furthers the thought that that wasn't the Titanic,
Olympic.
that it was the Olympic. So the Olympics windows were evenly spaced. I will post pictures, but like, you know how you look at a barcode and it's like skinny bar, skinny bar, space, skinny bar, big bar. Yeah. So the Olympics windows were uneven while the Titanics were like consistent, like window.
Space.
No. Well, yeah. Like the Titanics were like perfect. And then the Olympic was just kind of like a little bit all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Though when it left the dock in 1912, the alleged Titanic's windows were not evenly spaced.
I'm looking up a picture of it.
Even the dining halls themselves were nearly identical. So photographs of the interior of the Olympic were, this is a fact, photographs of the interior of the Olympic were actually used to promote the Titanic while it was being constructed. So they were like, hey, this is the Titanic, even though it was pictures of the inside of the Olympic. Both had checkered linoleum flooring. However, before it set sail, the White Star Line chairman ordered the alleged Titanic's dining hall floors to be newly carpeted. Are you following me here?
I got you.
So possibly...
So these are all the little things that you could take from knowing
Yes.
that it's not the fucking Titanic.
Yes. So possibly because it wasn't the Titanic at all, it was the Olympic, and the carpet, the brand new carpet, was being laid down to cover up the Olympic's worn linoleum flooring to keep passengers clueless and thinking that they're the first passengers on this brand new ship, right?
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to refer to what is actually the Olympic as the alleged Titanic.
Also,
So-
you can see that the Olympic does have, like, not even
Thank
windows.
you. So you, yeah.
So it's like window, space, window, space. It's like, it's weird.
Right, but if you look at a picture of the Titanic leaving, it's different. It's even. Or no, flip
No,
that.
yeah,
Strike
yeah.
that. Put
It's
my
the
thing down,
Olympic.
flip it, and reverse it.
It's not, the windows are not
Yeah.
even leaving.
You get it.
Yeah.
So just before the alleged Titanic set sail, over 50 first-class passengers canceled their trips. People such as Robert Bacon, Norman Craig, and James Martin Gray were all close friends and business associates of J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan himself was supposed to board the ship, but refused to step foot on the boat. And the day before the alleged Titanic
Look at that.
set sail, J.P. Morgan had many of his expensive statues removed from the ship. So, on the morning of April 10th, 1912, a ship called the Californian, again, set sail. It was stocked with lots of coal, but no passengers on board. So, at the time, coal was limited, and a large ship that had enough coal to make it to the United States, again, this is coming from Ireland, the UK, somewhere? Sure.
Sure, yeah.
I know my facts. So a ship of that caliber, a ship of that size, would not have left dock without a single passenger. But it did, and it was just filled with coal. But what's more strange was what else was on board instead of passengers. Guess what it was?
Boats.
No.
No.
But
Food.
Close. Plenty of wool blankets. Something around...
Survival
Yeah,
things.
so things that rescue ships would carry. So at 9:30 a.m., people boarded the alleged Titanic. Smiles and excitement flooded the dock as people stepped onto the unsinkable ship. A few hours later at noon, the ship parted from the dock and the last photograph of the alleged Titanic was taken. A science teacher named Lawrence Beasley survived the shipwreck and published a book just 9 weeks after the tragedy. In the book, he noted that the ship was tilting left.
See?
A trait that the Olympic was cursed with. So passengers enjoyed 4 successful days at sea on the luxury ship before tragedy struck.
Wow.
On April 14th, 1912, there was a lifeboat emergency protocol rehearsal scheduled for the crew, but Captain Smith, oh yeah, remember him?
I remember him. He's like fucking fucked up 3 different ships. Now this is the 4th. Well,
Or-
3 different times Olympic.
This is the same ship because
It
the
sure
Titanic is
Didn't
still
come
down.
out.
Sorry, Captain Smith canceled it for unknown reasons and never rescheduled. Hours later, the alleged Titanic sailed through a sea full of icebergs at 23 knots. At 11:40 p.m., the ship struck an iceberg that reached a height of approximately 100 feet out of the water's surface. Only 18 lifeboats were equipped on ship. Each boat held 65 people. Not enough for even half of the ship's capacity. Women and children were loaded onto boats first and lowered into the water, though many lifeboats were filled only halfway before dispatched. Realizing the unsinkable ship's fate, the band began playing Nearer My God to Thee as the chambers quickly filled with icy water of 28 degrees Fahrenheit. As a child, watching this movie was the most horrifying thing. I had nightmares. I couldn't sleep in
Right?
my room. I had to open my window because I was convinced I was on a ship and we were going down. By 2:20 a.m. on April 15th, the North Atlantic Ocean claimed the alleged Titanic as it sank to the depths.
Wait, okay. So hitting the iceberg was a ploy.
I'm coming. We'll
Okay,
get
I was
there.
like, what happened?
I'm coming. Over 1,500 lives were lost.
Wow.
So that's the story we know of the Titanic. But it wasn't the Titanic, it was the Olympic.
Olympic that
So-
literally got fucked up 3 times.
If JP Morgan had carefully orchestrated this insurance fraud plan, what went wrong? So just before it struck the iceberg, the alleged Titanic did actually receive 3 radio messages from the Californian. Remember that ship I was talking about?
Yep, that sailed before it.
That ship was actually out there near the iceberg when it hit, and they weren't the only ones. So these radio signals notified the alleged Titanic the exact location of the Californian when the ship stopped. But why was the Californian stopped? So April 14th was a clear night with calm water. This is what everybody says about this night, was just it was very calm, it was clear, and the stars above were visible and extremely bright. So the ship had plenty of time to correct its path if it saw an iceberg once the iceberg was in sight, you would think, correct? Well, it was 35 minutes before the first distress signal flare was sent up. They struck the iceberg. 35 minutes passed. Then they sent up the first distress signal. So, and it was 1 full hour before the first lifeboat was sent down into the water. So why did it take so long? Well, the commanding crew aboard the alleged Titanic knew of the fraud scandal.
So
They truly believed that that it would take well over 10 hours, if not days, for the ship to actually sink. But in their head, they knew that this was a fraud scheme and that the ship was just damaged, not going down.
Right.
So they were like...
So they didn't know. They were probably like, oh, this is a part of it. It's fine.
Yeah, they were like, we hit the iceberg. Yes, we know this is going to happen. But like, okay, let's not get everybody to go fucking crazy because this is part of the plan.
It's going to take days, right?
Yeah.
We have days.
Yes. So, they weren't rushing the plan. They were trying to keep panic and chaos at a minimum. But, obviously we know how that all worked out. But why didn't anybody make it to the Californian? Well, the alleged Titanic, which was really the Olympic, and the Californian, bitch, like I said before, were not the only boats in the water that night. I didn't know this. This is a fact. The Californian was out there. Fact.
So they had no idea which one it was?
Oh, baby, just wait. Hold up. So we have the Californian, which allegedly is supposed to save the people from the Olympic, which is the Titanic. Yes. But there was another boat out there, and this boat was 19 miles away. Okay, so the Californian was actually 19 miles away from the ship, but there was a third. The third ship was the Samson, and it sat almost exactly halfway in between the alleged Titanic, which was really the Olympic, and the Californian. So my left hand here, this is the Titanic. This is the alleged Titanic.
Yeah.
This is the Californian. And right here in the middle where this can is,
yeah,
that's where the third boat is. And the reason and this is going to make sense in a second, And I'm realizing this is a lot easier with visuals. But the reason they didn't know that was there was because it was a smaller ship and it was illegally fishing in the frigid seas.
Oh, shit.
It did come out later that this is a fact. So seeing the ship lights in the distance, the Californian believed that one ship that they were seeing in the middle was the Titanic, but it wasn't. It was the Samson. And they couldn't really tell the difference between it because, again, this was 1912.
Yeah.
So they thought that ship that was there that wasn't sinking, that was just sitting there, was the alleged Titanic, and nothing had happened yet. And the Californian, okay, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the Californian sat still in the water waiting to see flares shoot up into the sky, but when they never saw or heard any flares, the Californian had no idea that the alleged Titanic was sinking 9 miles on the other side of the Samson.
See, this is why you
lights.
don't scheme.
At the same time, the Titanic believed the Samson was the Californian. So this middleman fucked a lot of shit up.
Yeah, he sure did. Illegally fishing.
So what about the radio signals? Well, wireless operator aboard the Californian, Cyril F. Evans, had ended up falling asleep.
Oh, good job.
Because they were sitting there waiting, and the Samson, which they thought was the alleged Titanic, which isn't the Titanic, it's the
sinking.
I sound like I need a fucking tinfoil hat, and I goddamn do, bitch.
Okay, I love that bitch.
So he had fallen asleep. So many people think of the terrified gasps for air at the water's surface, but tend to forget the hundreds of people, this is fucked up, that were trapped in corridors, elevator shafts, and engine rooms that filled with water that sealed their fate. That's what fucked me up as a child.
Wow.
So yes, all these, you remember those scenes of all the people jumping. What about the people trapped inside the boat?
Right, like on the bottom.
Yeah, stuck in rooms that were just filling up with water. So the bottom of the sea now served as a graveyard for the damned in a shipwreck that could have never been predicted.
Look at that.
Or could it have?
Oh.
Because just 14 years before the alleged Titanic sank, a novel was written by Morgan Robertson and it was titled Wreck of the Titan.
Oh.
It was published in 1898. And in the novel, a ship called the Titan was deemed to be, quote, unsinkable, end quote.
Look at that.
Something
it's always
that
when you...
the alleged Titanic prided itself in. So the Titan in this novel, which was fictional, but told the future, the Titan set sail in April and was equipped with only 24 lifeboats,
Ooh.
less than half necessary for its capacity.
Look at that.
Sounds very similar, doesn't
Right.
it? Then in the North Atlantic Ocean, similarity, the Titanic struck an iceberg
Look at that.
and sank to the ocean floor. Did this motherfucking fictional novel become a non-fictional horror story that sparked, this idea in J.P. Morgan's head when he read
I think it did.
The frick? So 73 years after the alleged Titanic's tragedy, a U.S. and French expedition was led by Dr. Frank Ballard, and they were on the hunt for the wreckage. On September 1st of 1985, the infamous wreck was finally located 2 miles below the water's surface. So in the New York Times, Ballard stated, quote, "We came onto it early this morning. It was just bang. There it was on top of it. Our initial reaction was excitement, then a coming down off, then realizing we had found a ship where 1,500 people had died. To put those souls to rest was a nice feeling." So they came across many eerie things, such as unbroken windows, plates that were still stacked in the kitchen, passengers' footwear, and even menus of food served for the last time on the day of the wreck. But there was something else. A replaced propeller with the original Titanic's number stamped on it, possibly the one that was used to repair the Olympic's missing propeller, which would then say that this was not the Titanic, that this was the Olympic. And etched into the side of the ship were the letters MP, 2 letters not found in the name Titanic, but are present in the name the Olympic.
Look at that.
And that is my story of how the Titanic never sank.
Wow. You really took me there.
Did you love it?
Ooh, I can't breathe.
Right? Neither could those people because they drowned it.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? The Titanic just was hanging out, but it was the Olympic. Like, how crazy that story we know, that movie we saw with Leonardo DiCaprio, like, all of it
Was fake.
Not that it was fake, because clearly a ship sank.
Right, that's true.
But
it was just like,
it wasn't
all a
what
ploy.
you. Yeah,
Like,
it wasn't what
like
you
for
thought
a
it was.
scheme.
Scheming.
Look at that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like my adulthood is.
A lie.
It is. Like, it was a lie based on my childhood. Everything that I'm finding out, I'm just like, what the fuck?
What the frick, man? I'm scared.
All these theories.
Well, I have got a fun fact and a tweet of the week, but before we get to it, we have a really quick, very important message, you guys.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so it is the holiday season. I'm just gonna, veer off really quick.
Like, honestly, stand up for what you believe in.
It is the holiday season, and happy holidays to you and your ugly friends.
You and yours.
But if you're having a work event, or you're having an event of some sort, or you're going to a family thing, or you're going to any type of anything, and there are vegetarians there, and there's vegetarian options, it's so fine if you want to try it. It's so fine. But
not the whole fucking office.
Don't eat all the vegetarian options when there's other meat options. Let's just say there was possibly a situation that happened to me where there was a vegetarian option and the rest, like maybe 1/8 of the food available was a vegetarian option. The rest of it had meat in it. And let's just say I didn't get to that 1/8 when I didn't even know the food had been brought to said get together. And let's just say
that was also weird to me. Like, what the fuck?
Let's just say that other people who are not vegetarian got to it first, ate all the vegetarian food, then ate their food with meat on it. I've been a vegetarian for about 13 years now. And like, I'm not trying to be like that guy who's just like, you ain't on my fucking food. But all I had to eat I had olives. I didn't even have a salad. And I didn't eat olives because I hate olives.
And the salad was gone.
Literally. So I was just like, oh, it's fine. I'll have my water. Anyway, it's fine. Meet me at the water.
Just fucking
it's
be
fine.
Respectful.
That's all I'm saying. Like, if you want to try the food and there's enough, use your discretion. It's fine. But just know that people who are vegetarians at holiday parties or vegans, like whatever, I'm not being like, oh, I'm a vegan and pushing it on you. But like, I also understand that people don't realize it. But I wanted that fucking food and I didn't even know it was delivered. And when I got there, it was
It's fucking
gone.
Disappointing.
I had nothing to eat. It's fine. My water was great. Am I skinny now? Maybe I can run maybe I can walk the runway like my Moodle friend Carrick Hyman. It's fine. Here's my fun fact. NASA's InSight spacecraft had just landed successfully on Mars 51 minutes before we began recording this very episode. Isn't that great?
Whoa.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
51 minutes before we recorded this episode. What you got? Make it quick because I gotta pee.
Wow, same. I think I already did this one before.
Is it about the pillow in the freezer?
No, it's about a pig. In
Okay.
1386, a pig in France was executed by public hanging for the murder of a child.
Well, it shouldn't have murdered the child. So my tweet of the week is a linked tweet of Paper Magazine with Amanda Bynes on the cover. Amanda tweeted it herself.
I saw that.
Yeah, I read the whole thing when I was about to come pick you up. Well, I didn't read it. I had Siri read it to me. But it's a great read, and I'm so glad she's happy and healthy and doing a lot better.
Did you see that video of her, like, winking weirdly in the mirror and being like, look what you did?
No, she was eating a Sour Patch Kid, and she was, like, winking. Yeah, no, I saw it. I remember it happening in real time, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Why did she say, look what you did?
She didn't. She literally, the thing was, like, about Sour Patch Kids. Oh. And she was sucking a Sour Patch Kid. Oh. You're into that propaganda. You believe anything you read.
Shut up. So this is a tweet by @QueenRegina. She says, this girl I used to go out with is still using my Netflix, and that's cool. She's watching Scandal and is currently on season 7, episode 12. Series finale is season 7, episode 18. Guess who's changing her password as soon as she gets to episode 17? Yep, it's Petty LaBelle.
Petty LaBelle.
And that's my tweet of the week.
I love that for you. That's fantastic.
It sure is.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Go
and
ahead.
Remember, please subscribe, rate, write a comment if you didn't already. I hate when you do that.
Patreon.com/Esoteric Oddities. If you want bonus content, thank you guys for listening. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
The Titanic didn't fucking sink.
Okay.